All right, so now that you understand, I'll be holding to a higher standard when it comes to your, your attitude and this, the language, the words that you use on a day-to-day basis. I want to talk about why real quick. So, make it super simple. When it comes to your physical transformation, it all starts first and foremost in your mind, right? We can't grow a strong body if we don't have good soil, which is your mindset. So I've seen people try to do it the other way, or without even, laying soil first. The soil is not very good. And maybe we start growing something and then it dies. And we have to start all over from scratch, right? And we don't want to do that anymore. We're stopping that, and we have now what's called sustainability. That way we can continue working and growing, not just for the next 12 weeks, but for the rest of your life. Because I want you to enjoy life fit, right? And so very often, which kind of goes unsaid a lot of times, but it's the truth, is that physical limitations, our physical body is an outward expression of what's going on internally, 9 times out of 10. And so that means someone who is overweight or obese, oftentimes we'll see that same person struggling with stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and maybe somewhat unorganized, especially with their time. Or maybe we'll see someone who is malnourished, the exact opposite, and they're live to work, they don't work to live, they don't have deep relationships, not a lot going on outside of just their career, and then therefore they're unhappy, right? Or maybe we'll see someone who is just not in good health, has high blood pressure, diabetes, and because of that, maybe they're a little unorganized, or maybe the unorganization's causing that because they're not thinking about what they're putting in their body, they're not being present in the moment, and therefore relationships are distant, and maybe there's conflict when it comes to the social dynamic and social life, right? And yes, these are not true 100% of the time, but as you hear me saying this, does any of that ring true for you? And if it does, we have to fix that first and foremost. If you feel like you're unorganized, if you feel like, there's things that in your, actual lifestyle and in your mental game that are missing, that is so important, because what you are on the inside will reflect what you look like, what your body looks like on the outside as well, in that sense. And that's the reason why I want you to adopt positivity as your mantra, because being positive will allow you to focus on what needs to be done right now, especially over the next 12 weeks. So there's a quote that I love by Albert Einstein: "A happy man or woman is too satisfied with their life right now to focus too much on the future," right? And just like we talked about before, I don't want you to think saying I should or I could or I would. If we're able to be positive and enjoy the process, we'll be saying I will, I am doing, and we'll be, again, this can be a very exciting, and this should be a journey that you remember with, and love and are proud of, right? So let's start enjoying it right now. Let's not wait until the end of the 12 weeks to start enjoying life. Enjoy life now. You deserve it. The poorer we are inwardly, the more that we try to enrich ourselves outwardly. That's a quote by Bruce Lee, which just basically means that right now, if you're struggling with alcohol overconsumption, or you're struggling with binge watching TV, binge eating, maybe we're struggling with drug use right now, or maybe just you lose all control around sweets and sugar right now. That just means that we have work to do on the inside, and that work that we do inwardly will show externally, and your friends and family will notice, and they will give you compliments, right? And because someone who is positive, and as a result, right, people who are positive tend to live 10 years longer than someone who's negative. And it's so important that we'll recover from illness faster if we start to adopt a positive mindset. That people who are positive on average spend 15 less sick days per year than someone who is negative. That someone who's positive actually gets more done working joyfully than someone who's negative. And let's be honest, no one wants to be around someone who's negative, especially at the workplace. And that's why people who are positive tend to get more promotions and tend to make more sales than people who are negative. And that's why, also, if you think about it from a positive mindset, you're going to be more open to coming up with solutions and be more of a problem solver than when you're negative. When you're negative, we're going to be more of someone who just worries and stacks up all the things that are going wrong. So it should be plain and simple to see now that positivity and happiness is the prerequisite to a wealthy life, a transformed body, and a peaceful spirit. And that's why it's so imperative for us to be positive during the next 12 weeks and beyond, because we don't want to be wasting time anymore with entertaining negative thoughts, negative ideas, thinking about the past or the future too much, or thinking about all the things that woulda, coulda, shoulda be. Instead, we want to start building what is in your new life right now with positivity.